Hello everyone, and thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean the Vaping Biker, and today we're going to be looking at an RDA which I've got to say I'm pretty damn happy with. This is the Skill RDA that's not focusing. There we go. From Twisted Messes and Vapers MD, and I've got to say it's a bit of a beast. Let's have a little vape before we get going, shall we? Clouds for days. It really is a beast. Now then, before I go into any more, let's dive down up close so I can take you on a tour of this. It's crazy in its simplicity, but it just works really well. Right then, come on. Alright, so here we are with the Skill RDA. I've got it all broken down into sections here just because it's a little bit easier for me at the moment. But we'll have a little look at the box first before we look at the RDA itself. So it comes in a nice big white box like so. Skill on the outside with the Twisted Messes and Vapers MD logo on there. On the back you've got the Instagram for the Skill RDA. Designed by Vapers MD, engineered by Twisted Messes, manufactured in China. And if we break that open, you'll see that we just have the space for the RDA, and in there we do get some extras. Now these extras are fantastic, and I'll show you why they're fantastic in a little while. But the main reason is, and I'll show you these installed. Look at the size of these screw options that come with this RDA. Phillips head, flat head, or you have the Allen keys that are already installed. So this is the deck of the RDA that we're looking at, and my word, it's simple, but how effective is this? It really is amazing. When I looked at this to start with, I thought, well, that's not really anything that new and all that, but do you know what? It's an absolute diamond to build on. Now if I just open one of these up a section, you can size of wire, how about that for you? Get that bad boy in your life. You can put pretty much whatever size you fancy under here. It's just fucking huge. Now then, let me just show you what that looks like with a one of the other screw heads in it. 2 seconds. Okay, I wanted to do that off camera just because it's a little bit quicker for me at the moment, but have you ever seen screw heads as big in an RDA in your life? My Christ, they are fucking huge. But yeah, they are options if you do want them. To be honest with you, I've been perfectly happy with the Allen heads, but yeah, you can use these bad boys if you so want. And like I say, they're just massive, so you do have huge amounts of options going on there. Now then, the deck I think is around about the 4 to 5 mil kind of deep. It doesn't come with a squonking pin, although apparently it may do in the future. Underneath we've got the Twisted Messes logo, we've got the Vapers MD logo, the screw that holds the negative pin in, and we've got the serial number on the side. We do have a protruding 510 there with a nice protruding insulator as well, just for extra safety. So this one in particular is absolutely fine and dandy for hybrid mods. But as I always say, if you don't just go on my word, make sure you check your own to make sure that that is all fine and dandy for you as well. Now then, with the rest of it, the barrel here, the barrel has the Skill logo kind of engraved in it quite heavily, which I think looks quite nice. And otherwise it's pretty damn simple. You've got the air holes there, nice big chunky air holes, and that's it. There's nothing else to really show you when it comes to the outer barrel. Although what I can show you, get back into focus, is that we haven't had any kind of serious wear on the coating on this, which I've been quite happy with. And this has obviously been coming on and off a lot over the last few weeks. So yeah, it's not showing any massive wear. Maybe just a tiny little bit right in that corner up there, but that's about it. Now when it comes to the top cap, nice and simple. Whoop, didn't turn my phone off. Nice and simple for the time being, but we do have the single coil option when it comes to the airflow. We've got the 3 holes each side just for big air, or we've got the 2 holes just giving us that little bit of restriction on a single coil. And it's nice to see that you do have that single coil option on this, even though it is a cloudy bastard. But I'll go into that when we go up top. The top of it does have a sort of a little bit of a scoop going on there, or a little bit of a sort of a small amount of doming, which helps get the flavour right up into your mouth hole. And in the very top section there, you do have the O-ring on the inside, like we've seen on a bunch of the RDAs recently, so you can get your goon tips and all that good stuff in there as well. Now then, moving away from that, this is the drip tip that is installed in the RDA when you get it, and I think that's a nice little touch in the Delrin there. Even says use your skill in that Delrin section there, which you really do have to look for if you want to see it. But no, all in all, I mean, I quite like using this little low pro. I believe the whole thing is Delrin, sorry, Ultim. Did I say Delrin? I meant Ultim. This is obviously Ultim, and I think this black section is Ultim also. But no, I think it all looks rather good. Now, one of the things that I will say is that make sure that your O-rings are very, 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 very juiced up, because you can see there that we have a little bit of a gap there, and that's purely because the O-rings are not juiced up. Now, if I was to put that back onto that straight away, then yeah, you'd be able to see that is incredibly tight, absolutely. So let me just stick a build in this. I'll juice up the O-rings, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what I've got. Right, so what I've done there is just pop some, these are some dual core 26 gauge stainless steel Claptons with 38 gauge Claptons around the outside, so you probably won't be able to see that very well on camera with regards to the Clapton, but it's one of the thinner wires that I've worked with. Now, these aren't the tidiest coils, I'm afraid, but I've done the best I can today. So what we've got there is, let's say, 3.5mm ID, and they're quite chunky because they're dual core, and you can see that there is still plenty of space for wick, plenty of space for everything else to go on there, and just really nice and easy, because if you're dripping down the middle of the drip tip there, then it's just going to go straight down into that where the 510 pin is, and it's going to disperse nicely. So yeah, loads and loads of space. Pop the drip to the top cap back on. I do find that the bottom the bottom what are they called, O-rings, are incredibly tight on it, but you know, that's just one of those things. But yeah, use your skill. So that was the up close with the Skill RDA from Vapers MD and Twisted Messes, and I've got to say, I really, really, really like this RDA. I think it's an absolute stonker. Let's have a little vape, shall we? Great vapor production, big thick clouds, airflow for days, and it just works. It just works, and it's really, really simple. Now then, I believe that the deck is 24 karat gold stainless steel, or 24 karat gold plated stainless steel, and so you do have plenty of strength. I think the posts are as well, so you do have plenty of strength there. I know one of the concerns that some people may have is the fact that because the screw isn't sort of fully encapsulated, whether that's going to weaken under time. Now, we know that I tend to wrench things far too hard for their own good, and sounds a bit naughty, but I've not managed to upset this. I haven't skipped any threads. I've not damaged it in any way, shape or form. So I think that the posts are stainless steel that are just gold plated. However, you know, just that's my own thoughts on that one. I've got nothing to prove that. The deck, however, I know is definitely stainless steel 304. And yeah, it's a beast. The top cap is made of aluminium, which can get a little bit on the warm side, and with this stumpy little drip tip here, which I think looks the tits, and it actually feels quite nice because you sort of press your lips against it rather than over it, if you know what I mean. But having said that, if you do chain vape and you've got some big coils in there and you are putting a fair amount of power, I mean, at the minute, the coils that I put in the up close are running at 0.2, and that's 88.8 watts. So that can get, on chain vaping, it can get a little bit warm. So, you know, you do kind of rest your lips against the front end there rather than sticking it in your mouth hole. However, you can put your goon tips in there if you want. Let me just find, where is it? What have I done with it? There it is. Let me just find the one of the goon tips that I had Gary Dibley make for me, and there we go. Let me get my hand up here. There we go. Look, so you can see that that looks kind of funky on there with a little bit of a taller tip in there as well. However, I do like the original tip because I think it just looks great and it works. I mean, that, just look at it. I've got it on the, I was going to do it on the Kodama, the wooden minikin, but I'm used the black one just because that sort of murdered out kind of look I think looks the tits. Yeah, really happy with it. Right then, so is there anything that I've forgotten to tell you? I don't really think there is. Obviously, you've got peak insulators in there and all that sort of stuff. I've not had any issues with any of the insulators. The only thing that I have had slight challenges with is the O-rings, and I was hoping that they were going to wear in a little bit more over time. But over the last couple of weeks, where I've been using this a lot, the bottom O-rings, especially, well, actually, and the one on the AFC, do tend to be very, very, very tight. So if you've got a little bit of a gammy hand, then it's a little bit challenging to sort of twist things and take things on and off and all that sort of malarkey. However, it's not, you know, it's one of those things. I prefer them to be a little bit too tight than a little bit too loose, in my opinion. Now then, the airflow, I've got my airflow, I would show you, but you're not going to see. I've got all three holes sort of closed off by about a quarter to a third, and that gives me a decent amount of restriction. However, if I just open that up a little bit, apologies for the cut there, but I couldn't quite grab hold of it with my other hand, so I had to kind of fanny about to sort out the airflow. But I've got all the airflow, you're not going to be able to see them, I've got all the airflow holes open, fully open there, and let's have a little toot on that one. Once again, cloudy as you like. I think for me, that introduction of just that little bit extra air, kind of, it does maybe weaken the flavour just a scooch, but I prefer that little bit of resistance because I do like to get a nice warm kind of really dense cloud going on. So yeah, but I mean, I think it works really, really well. I think that I don't know whether all the gold plated malarkey and everything else does improve. Can't get my words out. Improve on the resistance or internal resistance of the RDA or whatever else, but it just seems to hit really, really nicely. Obviously, you know, wattage is wattage, and it might all be in my head, but it does seem to work just fantastically well. And like I say, clouds for days. I'm going to have to bang some more juice in there. Now then, like I said, it's a cracking little RDA in my opinion. Now cost-wise, I've had a quick look, and in the UK, the vaporbar.co.uk, I'll put a link down below. They appear to have them in stock at the moment at $59.99. Yeah, I'll put the links down below anyway, like I said. However, mine came from Ohm's Distro, so if you're a vape shop or if you want these to go into your vape shop, then get in touch with Ohm's Distro. They only do distribution, they don't do private sale and retail and all that sort of stuff. But I'll put all the links down below as well. So, all in all, there's not really a massive amount more I can tell you. It's a corking little RDA. It's a 24mm. Did I tell you it was 24mm? I must have said it's 24. It's 24mm. I think it looks the tits. I think it works really, really well. I think the flavour's great. I think the cloud production is great. I think the simplicity of the build deck is fantastic. The fact that you've got just so much space in there just works really, really well for me. I love build decks like that. And also little things like the Allen key, the grub screws. They're I think they're 2mm Allen keys, so they're nice chunky things. You know, you can really get a good purchase on there and nice and deep as well, so you can really get your Allen key in there and wrench down on your coils if you want to. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Dean the Vape and Biker. This has been the Skill RDA. Oh, one more thing. I don't think you're going to be able to get it in the USA because of the whole August 8th business. So if you do want one, I think you may be able to, or you may have to order them from abroad. So yeah. There's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid, but it is what it is. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Have it large.